Now, it has been a historic past couple of days for India and Israel as Prime Minister Narendra Modi wraps up his two-day visit. India and Israel today signed multiple MoUs across various sectors spanning trade, technology, digital payments, agriculture space and emerging technologies, marking a decisive leap towards strategic partnership between two nations and making it deeper and even better. Addressing a joint press conference in Jerusalem, Prime Minister Modi underlined that India and Israel are moving swiftly towards formalizing a landmark trade pact.
हमने पिछले वर्ष बायलैटरल इन्वेस्टमेंट एग्रीमेंट किया। हम शीघ्र ही एक म्यूचुअली बेनिफिशियल फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट को भी अंतिम रूप देंगे।
Now, let me straight away go to Ambassador Suresh Goyal. Sir, thank you so much for joining me. And I'll be also joined by Nina Slama, a foreign policy expert from Reichman University. She will join me from Israel. But first to Ambassador Goyal, sum total of this visit, sir. Sum total of this visit.
I would say that very successful. The visit has been able to achieve the outcome that it set out to. And I think that was more or less to be expected. The script had been written earlier. I'm quite happy with the outcome finally, but we need to look at the long-term implications and the long-term execution of the understandings. You said sum total, and that is it.
In terms of, sir, Prime Minister also talking about Gaza, Prime Minister also spoke about trade, and you know, we stuck to our own foreign policy, long-standing tradition, you know. No hexagonal alliance, which you know the Israeli Prime Minister was talking about so publicly. So it means that our positions have not made huge divergences on what it was in 90s, 2000, 2010 and 20.
I think let us not talk about the divergences. I think we are talking about basically the progress. The relationships always progress slowly and gradually, and it takes a long time for the understandings to be developed between two nations. So from that point of view, I would say I think the progress in the case of Israel is steady and rather fast. Now you mentioned two things, Gaza and hexagonal. Now, as far as Gaza is concerned, yes, we supported the Gaza Peace Initiative. The Gaza Peace Initiative has been basically transformed or transmoged into something very different from what it was before the Security Council. The Gaza Peace Board, which is actually now responsible for the execution of the peace initiative, is practically like a mini Security Council, private Security Council chaired by President Trump. So in that case, what the future is going to be is very, very indeterminate, I would say. So we will have to watch. As far as the hexagonal is concerned, it's very important because that does reflect the changing strategic dynamics of the region. And that includes not just Middle East, but Iran. And therefore, we need to keep a watch over how it progresses. Important. I didn't mention them earlier because sum total goes beyond that.
Sum total goes beyond that. Nina Slama, thank you so much. Thank you for joining me from Israel. Same question to you. Madam, what is the sum and total of this visit?
First of all, we see how close and deep the relations between both countries are. And we see the prospect of these relations. They will extend, they will in many areas, including defense and security, but also agriculture, water management, AI, quantum computing, and so on. We see that the strong bond that both leaders share is strong and will lead our countries to continue to collaborate closely in different areas. And it is, I can tell you on a personal note, that it was a moment of pride and enthusiasm in Israel to see such a great leader like Prime Minister Narendra Modi coming to Israel and reiterating its support to the Jewish state.
Secondly, a lot of MOUs were signed. Prime Minister also said that, you know, very soon we'll have a historic business deal. Any impediment, you know, the work on the free trade agreement has been on for quite some time. And the trade between two strategic partners should be bigger, but it has not made big leaps and bounds from $3 to $4 billion, which stands today. In 1992, it was $200 million. It's not much when the defense cooperation and strategic partnership is deep.
I think that this visit will enable both countries to not only resume the talks, but also to conclude them in the near future. There will be some delegations from Israel that will come to India and will enable the signing and the conclusion of the deal, which of course will enlarge and enable a much more robust trade between the nations. But we are already talking about upgrading current and existing military and defense agreements that will allow both countries to collaborate more closely on more sensitive issues, following different threats from state and non-state actors that both countries had to address. So we know that the current, there will be a very extended military and security deal worth between $8 to $10 billion before the FTA will be signed, and it shows the mutual trust and understanding that exists in these relations.
Ambassador Goel, let me take a closing comment from you. The deepening of the strategic relationship, is it also because of the close defense and security embrace which we have with Israel today, because of changed geopolitical climate, sir?
Absolutely. Defense is a very major part of the relationship between India and Israel, particularly if you refer to Sudarshan Chakra, Iron Dome, our own strategic neighborhood, security concern. So that's an important part. But I would just want to add one more thing to what you asked. A lot is going to depend upon how the situation in Middle East and Gulf changes over the coming years. A lot of the relationship between India and Israel is motivated by the bilateral sensitivities, India's position in Middle East and Gulf, and Israel on South Asia. So let us see how it moves forward. That is what I would say. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Ambassador Goel, and thank you, Nina Slama, for joining me from Israel. Thank you so much.